Sound advice to keep your body and mind in perfect harmony. You're tuned in to the Dr. Stephen Show. Now, here is Dr. Stephen Eisenberg.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Dr. Stephen Show. We are in for a treat today. We've got Steve Olsher, America's Reinvention expert and New York Times bestselling author of What is Your What? Now what do we mean by that? What? Huh? What? I'm going to tell you what we mean by that. It's finding your core, your purpose, what your soul is screaming out for you to do in your life. And we've got him here today. He's the founder and the host of Reinvention Radio, which is a huge iTunes podcast. And we've got him here. He's also the founder of a little teeny website you may have heard of, liquor.com. I mean, hello. There are some health benefits to red wine. Don't forget it. Our friends will tell you that there are some benefits. We'll learn about those today. But more importantly, we are going to learn what is your what? What's in your heart? What's screaming to come out? Come back and we will be with Steve Olsher, America's Reinvention expert, in a minute. We'll see you then, people.
Because you need to know.
Because you need to learn.
Because financial planning can be complicated.
There's wealthEd.com.
WealthEd.com.
The site dedicated to educating you about financial planning.
With guidance from experienced financial planners.
Helping you learn more about creating your financial plan.
Watch Bucket Strategy Investing, presented by Lucia Capital Group, every day at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Or watch archived features from the show on demand.
Learn more about options for your benefits on the Social Security Show every Tuesday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific.
Lucia Capital Group brings you Bucket Strategy Live, Wednesday evenings at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific.
And learn more about the challenges women deal with on Femme Finance, Thursday afternoons at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific.
It's the site where understanding financial planning can start to click.
Click on wealthed.com.
Live programs, on-demand archived features, and articles.
Go to wealthed.com.
Wealthed.com.
And we're back. We are back with Steve Olsher. Steve, thank you for being here today, man.
Thank you for having me, sir.
I'm so psyched. I am so psyched to have you here. And I just noticed on the cover of What is Your What, which I absolutely love, is hello, DNA. What's in your... This is a health book. This is a health book. I mean, because really what we were saying before we came on was that if you don't discover what's in your heart, what's in your soul, what's in your spirit, what you're screaming out to do in your life, that might show up in ways where you're not that, ways that you're not going to be thrilled about.
It will come out one way or the other. So you either accept and acknowledge and bring to fruition what is already, I mean, that's why you got the DNA strand there. I mean, here's what I like to say.
Tell me.
You're what has chosen you, and it's not really that which you have chosen. So we can live in denial about what it is.
Yeah.
But then if you stuff it, you know it's going to come out one way or the other. That could be pretty ugly the way it comes out. And I think you may actually be able to attest to some of the things that might happen when things aren't exactly aligned.
Well, there's a lot of people, like, for instance, like Louise Hay, from Hay House.
Hey!
Hey! She actually talks about...
You did just throw in rerun. That's impressive.
I do a rerun dance. Anyway.
Nice.
Okay. Shout out to What's Happening fans.
Which are like 4 people left, I think. It's like us. We're
Dee,
we're
remember
half.
Dee?
Of course I remember Dee.
The sister?
My favorite guy was the janitor.
Yeah.
You gotta love the janitor.
Raj, Rerun, Dwayne, Shirley. May she rest in peace.
Right? See, who would have thought that the Dr. Stephen Show would go to, what is that, Good Times, or what the hell is it called? Good Times.
What's Happening?
What's Happening, that's the one.
What's Happening?
I get my black shows mixed up. Sorry, guys, sorry.
What is happening with What is Your What? Do you see that segue?
That was nice, man. That was nice. You've done this before.
What is happening on the inside, in your DNA? And the subtitle is Discover the One Amazing Thing You Were Born to Do.
True.
And I love that it's in your DNA. And can you just tell me a little bit more about the process of discovering what is your what. Now, you said you're almost born with it. You can deny it. You can. You may go down another path because you think you shoulda, woulda, coulda gone to one way.
Yeah.
But then you're all of a sudden one day you wake up, you're not happy.
Yeah, I don't think it's a one-day thing. I mean, I think you wake up for a lot of days of being unhappy before you realize, like, damn, how did I get here? Like, why am I here? And how do I get the hell out of here? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's ultimately the main question that people have when they get to that point is like, okay, I'm here. What do I do to get out of this?
Yeah.
So the what is your what framework is really quite simple. But when I found myself in this position, and people who write books, if you have a book, you can probably appreciate this. In Authorland, they say that you write the book that you most need. So I wrote this book because I needed it. Because when I mean,
wild.
It's been one of those
hear
things.
The story?
Well,
for all your fans out there that might not know the backstory.
Hi, Mom. That would be my. That would be the fan. Yeah, thanks. But so backstory. Entrepreneur.
Yes.
I mean, literally, like you got the DNA. I mean, just I'm a Jew, man. So I like money, and it's like it's in the blood. It's there. And from a young age, I mean, if I could pick up a shovel and try to shovel some snow, or grab the rake and move some leaves around, just always wired to try to do something to make some money. So. Yeah. Early on, that led to music and DJing and radio, and that exact. We digress.
Yeah, we're back.
I never was a very good beatboxer. By the way, there's a great YouTube video of this guy and his daughter doing this little beatbox battle together. That's one you got to look up.
Okay, good.
So, like father, daughter, beatbox battle, Google
Watch that
thingy.
one.
Check that one out. So that one's pretty good. So. Nightclubs, radio.coms, eventually got into real estate, actually taking a couple steps back. We launched on CompuServe's electronic mall in 1993.
Yeah, you're a visionary of the interwebs.
The interwebs, right? The thing that Al Gore finally created for us, thankfully, later on. But yeah, launched one of the first fully functional e-commerce sites in 95, and that site became liquor.com. So a lot of entrepreneurial stuff, but as you can see, dancing from industry to industry to industry, and then writing and speaking and online teaching, coaching and consulting.
Yeah.
Really done it all because I, like perhaps you and millions of others, I'm still trying to figure out what that is, but I'm closer. And as I went through like the Myers-Briggs and the what colors your parachutes and the strengths finders and so on, a lot of those modalities really left me with more questions than answers. And so as I began talking to people about this and then eventually teaching some of the strategies in my life that had worked fairly well, this whole conversation came up in terms of like, what is it that we really are here to do? And so the framework, which is really like a tripod, so there's three pieces of the, of the stand there, if you will. The one leg is your core gift. The second is your core vehicle. And the third are the people that you're most compelled to serve. So it's the gifts, the vehicle, and the people that make up the what is your what framework. And you can have one piece of the puzzle, and most people will go through life without ever figuring out what one piece is. But if you don't have all three, it's really, really hard to wake up with that fire in the soul and jump out of bed to serve those that you're here to serve, because you can know what your gift is. And so like for you, we were talking about this, your gift might be healing or it might be entertaining depending on, which side of the table we're going to be sitting on. But let's just use healing, Dr. Steven, right? Yeah. So healing is your core gift.
Yes.
The vehicle you use to share that gift is oncology, right? Which is, it's medicine.
Yeah.
So healing and then oncology, medicine. But if you don't know the people that you're most compelled to serve, then you could be working in a general hospital when you might actually be more compelled to serve children who have been diagnosed with X, Y, or Z, and that's really your people. Or you could know you really want to help the children, and you want to be, maybe perhaps you want to be a doctor, but you don't really, if you never really tapped into that gift, it's like you got to have all three pieces, and once you have all three pieces, that's when the magic really does start to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you hear stories about doctors who were in one specialty, for example, and completely hated it.
Yeah, a perfect example is there was a nurse who came to one of my workshops.
Yeah.
So she also knew she was a healer. The vehicle she was using was nursing, so those two pieces were in place, but she was working in a general hospital. She liked it, but she didn't love it, so she knew something was missing.
Yeah.
So we went through the process. It became clear that the people she's most compelled to serve are the disadvantaged elderly. And so you can see how when you plug that into the equation, fast forward a few years, she's been a head nurse at a VA hospital working specifically with the disadvantaged elderly, and that's really made all the difference for her.
And she's just lit up. She's completely on fire.
Well, not every day, man. I mean, it's like we don't blow sunshine, all day long every day, but she certainly likes it a lot more because in front of her are those people who she is truly compelled to serve. Now, the gift is static. That's in you. That's not going anywhere. But the vehicle that you use and the people that you serve, those are more organic, those are more fluid. Those can change over time.
So you may write a book, you may get a TV show, you may have different ways of expressing that gift.
We're talking about anybody in particular here?
Oh, geez. Some of our friends.
Right?
Some of our friends. What I really love about this framework is that this will really help people get healthy. Mind, body, and soul.
It can, yeah.
Mind, body, and soul. This show is not just about health in terms of, heart disease prevention or cancer prevention, which are huge and important. But we are talking about health of the mind, the body, and the spirit.
That's like your tripod.
Yeah.
It's like, so your mind can be super sharp, but if your body is kind of and your spirit is kind of then that doesn't really work. And, you got this great spirit and you got this great body, but your mind is going to waste, then, right? So it's like maybe there's your own tripod little framework thingy.
Cool.
I'll ask for is like 1%. Just a 1% royalty from here and in perpetuity. That's all I need.
Now, that is a done deal, man, because this is...
Damn, I negotiated against myself. Damn it.
Now, I've seen pictures on your
Which one?
SteveOlsher.com.
Oh, those. Okay, yeah.
Of
the ones my mom can
of
see.
you selling speakers in the back from the back of a van.
No, there's supposedly pictures around somewhere. Fortunately, those have not found their way to my site. But yes, please continue.
And I'm just amazed at your journey from just scrapping it, everything you could do, selling speakers out of the back of the van, to go to New York Times best-selling author.
There's hope for everyone.
Yeah, I mean,
there's hope for you. No matter what you're doing, there is hope.
If you find what is your what and don't ignore it, how can people? What's the first thing they can do other than read the book, which they can find on Amazon, SteveOlsher.com, and bookstores everywhere. But
we'll make it even easier. Just go to whatisyourwhat.com/free and grab a free copy. We'll keep it simple.
Oh, they can get it for free.
Absolutely.
See, that's amazing.
I want to make this world a better place.
That's
not
awesome,
necessarily
man.
for me, but because just more for my kids and my kids' kids, because my time here is limited, no doubt.
So, okay, so you started the CompuServe. You get liquor.com. How do you then go? How do you then take what you've gone through and say, you know what, you find a literary agent? How do you get a New York? How do you go to a New York Times bestseller from? Yeah, I mean, and I love how you said you took this and that and this and that, and then you saw what was missing for you.
Yeah.
And so, how did you put it all together and then get this beautiful piece of art out there?
Yeah, and beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So, but reality is that I am not the traditional sort of book deal kind of guy where I had a book proposal and shopped it around and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
It truly is who you know, and I have a friend, good friend, who is a 7-time New York Times bestselling author. And we were chatting, and I said, hey, I've got this idea for a book. Actually, that's not true. The first book idea I had was called Think Like a Jew, a Gentile's Guide to Life and Business, which he loved. He thought that was great. I may actually still write that book. I still own that domain, thinklikeajew.com. But he was like, yeah, that might be a little much for my publisher, so what else do you got? So anyway, I said, hey, this is the other book I'm working on. He said, great, write me an email about it. Send me the email, and I'll give it over to my guys. Basically, on an email, I got that book sold.
That's amazing, man. I like the other idea.
You like Think Like a Jew, don't you? That's a good one. A Gentile's Guide to Life and Business. I'm totally writing that one. Yeah, you want that one too, don't you? He's nodding. He's like, yeah, give me that one.
When we come back, we're going to learn how to...
Think like a Jew. Sorry, Ariana. Ariana's name is tied to the show. We'll apologize in advance.
No, we are going to take it one step deeper and help people take the first couple steps while they're watching to find what is their what. We'll be right back with Steve Olsher, the doctor of what is your what, the doctor of your soul, Dr. Feelgood right here. When we're back after this short break. We'll see you in a
It's the site where understanding investing starts to click. Click on wealthed.com, educating you about financial planning and answering your most important questions with live interactive shows hosted by experienced financial strategists and an on-demand library of videos and articles you can access anytime for free. Wealthed.com brings you retirement planning guidance, social security strategies, tax management techniques, portfolio allocation options, and more. Your source for information and financial education. Online, on demand, on wealthed.com.
good. Feel good.
That is impressive.
Good.
You got producers, man.
Feel good.
Wow.
Dr. Feel good.
Who's hiding behind that wall?
Yes.
That's impressive over there.
Yes, we are feeling good today because we are going deep into your soul. Because if you don't...
This must be a different show. Oh, this show.
This show.
This show, sorry.
This show. We are going into what is your what. We are going into what makes you tick. And if you don't discover that, I have to say that there is some. We were talking about Louise Hay for a minute.
Hey.
She talks about that repressed emotions in one of her books.
You Can Heal Your Life?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
that one. She talks about like repressed emotions, repressed anger, repressed resentments can sometimes show up in the body as,
sure,
GI issues or even cancer. So not everyone subscribes to that, but I think there's something to the mind-body connection, how it's all connected, and if you're not honoring that, discovering the one amazing thing you were born to do, then you could be repressing some of that.
Sure.
And I think that it's important that people, what if they're just afraid to really explore? What would you tell them? If I can't do stand-up comedy, for someone who's always wanted to do it,
it's
but
good
they're
that
afraid.
You finally admitted that, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop torturing me and inviting me to your shows, man.
What do you tell the people who are listening, who are just afraid to take that leap?
Yeah. So the first thing I say is welcome to the club. I mean, that means you're human. So congratulations, you have acknowledged the fact that you are human. And reality is that it's like a light switch, man. Mm-hmm. The first step of the process is literally just flipping on the switch, because most of us will go through life without recognizing that there is something that we are naturally born to excel at. Mm-hmm. Now, the subtitle of the book might actually be better, and maybe in the next version we will call it Discover the One Amazing Thing You Were Born to Do for Now. Because reality is it puts way too much pressure on people to say, this is it. This is you. This is the only thing you are. This is all you can be.
Yeah.
And if you mess that up, then sorry, you just screwed up your whole life. You screwed up. God's mad at you, and you're going to go to hell. But that's a lot of pressure, right? To say this is what you were born to do. Uh-huh. I believe that there are things that we can do at different times of our life, but it's simply a matter of being aware of the fact that we don't have to suffer through the things that we loathe. And most people when they look at their life, feel like they don't have any options, right?
Yeah.
So reality is that when you flip that switch on, it gives you the opportunity to at least say, I have an option.
Yeah.
And that's step number one, is recognizing the fact that, okay, I've been doing this, but it doesn't mean that I have to die doing that.
Yeah. I know we're both Lenny Kravitz fans, and Let Love Rule.
Yeah.
Which is
I should have shaved for the occasion. It's hard to see through the jungle, but if you follow the path, then there's somewhere
You
can
got
see it.
to let love.
Oh, please don't. Yeah, you could probably sing it. I actually had somebody come on the show on Reinvention Radio, which is a show I do, and really good guitarist, really good singer. And he's like, "All right, man, let's close the show singing, Let Love Rule." And damn it, he didn't know the lyrics, so he's playing the chords, and I'm carrying the whole thing. And I think we actually had people listening, in pretty decent droves at that point. And you could actually watch the listenership fall right off the cliff. So yeah, please don't. We want to actually keep folks to the end of the show here.
Well, what he said was, change is necessary. You should never stay in the same place for too long.
No, it's easy for him to say. Look at how much money he's got. I mean, if I had that kind of money, I'd be telling all sorts of things to people. But yeah.
But what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
But what I mean by that is, we're always shifting. We're always transforming. We're always learning something new.
That's a big assumption. A lot of people aren't always learning, and a lot of people aren't always exploring things that are new.
Should I reframe that by saying you can always learn? One can always progress and grow in their life.
Yeah. And
maybe I am assuming, but I think that's what your book's about. That discover the one amazing thing you're born to do now, but that could be different in 5 years.
It can be different based upon what I call your ABP statement, your attributes, your beliefs, and your perspectives. That can change based on the experiences that you have in your life. There was a guy who does amazing work in the world, still alive. I shouldn't call him in past tense there. He's still alive. And I'll give him props here. His name is Johnny Immerman. He's got a program called Immerman Angels, which you would love.
Oh, I know him.
You know Johnny?
Yeah.
All right. And so Johnny, you would ask him, before he was diagnosed with testicular cancer. And basically, during that time of being, going through all the treatments and everything, he was surrounded by people that he was loved by. And he felt like the people who loved him gave him the strength to survive and to get through this and to beat it. But when he walked around the cancer ward, he saw that other people there didn't have that same sort of support system. And so he swore that if he beat it, he would make sure that people never suffered alone. And so his organization now, Reinvention Angels, matches cancer sufferers with cancer survivors, people of any age, any stage, and pairs them together.
Beautiful.
But if you asked him prior to that, hey, Johnny, you're going to be doing this, he'd have laughed you out of the room.
Right.
Because you couldn't even see it coming.
Yeah.
So what are those experiences? What do you believe in? What are your own personal attributes? And if you start with the mirror, you're a father, right? So you could talk to fathers in ways that people who aren't fathers can't. And so you're a doctor. You could talk to others, right? So it's there are all of these attributes that you have and things you believe in and your perspectives on life. That's always a good place to start. What are those things that you possess, and what are those things in all of the, look at the whole list. What are the things that stand out to you that really get you fired up?
Yeah, and what about where does the Olsher man stand on? Well, it's all predestined. It's all part of the grand plan. It's all is that whole free choice versus destiny.
Nature versus nurture, and all that fun stuff as well.
I mean,
it really just depends on how much weed I've smoked and the quality of the weed that I've smoked.
Medical marijuana.
Then I believe.
Medical.
Then I believe much
this
deeper.
Is California.
In those yes, and that's why I moved here from Chicago. It wasn't because of the weather, though the weather's great. It was just for that, and I carry my prescription with me at all times.
Well, San Diego's also a hotbed of
dealers, yes,
of personal development types.
And there's that,
and I think you're in the right place.
Yeah,
and people can actually work with you. You can mentor them, and you can help them grow their business. You can help them find. Can they be like, hey, Steve, help me find what my what is?
Yeah.
I mean,
And I'd say absolutely buy the book.
Buy the
or
book.
better yet, get it for free.
yeah. And will you work with someone one-on-one if after they read the book? Like if they're like, well,
I don't do a lot of
Yeah.
one-on-one work at this
Yeah.
point. I have done some group coaching stuff in the past. I do
Yeah.
some live events, workshops, and so
Yeah.
on. So there is that.
Yeah.
But for me right now, just kind of where I'm at with the radio show and where I'm at with the business side of the equation and whatnot. Not a lot of one-on-one stuff, but fortunately that's the beauty of a book, and that's the beauty of the whole online world is
Yes.
there are videos of me doing this stuff and teaching it.
Right.
I don't recommend anyone watch any of them because why would you want to look at this for more than you have to? But if you want to suffer, then yes, there are plenty of videos online that can help people through that. Sure.
So you go from Chicago scrapper to New York Times bestselling author. You love people, and you get
There are a lot of assumptions there, man. A couple, I will say 2 out of the 3 or 4 of those things are correct, but keep going.
and you're on this road, and you've seen the internet change in so many ways. You
Sure.
really were one of the first people out there, and you know.
I go back so far online
Yeah.
that like it got to the point where like because the internet was so slow at that point and the dial-ups and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like when I was looking for pictures of ladies, like I could tell by their eyebrows if I wanted to see more. Like if the eyebrows didn't pass muster, it was on to the next picture because it would take like 3 minutes to get to the eyebrows. And I was like, is this worth another 20 minutes of my life? Right. So you get pretty good at some really odd things. It's a skill. It is in my DNA. So I can tell by a woman's eyebrows if I want to see the rest of the picture.
Well, since you've seen this whole evolution from the beginning, what's great, what's not so great? Like, where do you see this going? Technology.
I'm much better at telling you what's not great. Did I mention I'm Jewish? So like that's
Tell me
easy.
what's not great.
What's not great is everybody and their damn mother thinks that they're a guru. Everybody and their damn mother thinks that they can offer me some kind of advice.
Yeah.
Like, why? Who are you? Please
Yeah.
stop telling me.
Is self-help dead?
Well, I'll tell you what. It's not just dead. It's certainly butchered and it's maimed. I mean, it's crawling because there's so many people out there who put themselves out as coaches and as consultants and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't put yourself out there as being in this self-help space when you can barely help yourself, It's like, so I think the internet's actually made things worse. My life is worse because of it.
That's wild.
And I think your life is probably worse because if you've been watching this for the last, 30 minutes and listening to me, thank you for that. But mostly you're tuning in for him, which is a really good idea. So check out the next episode of the Dr. Stevens Show because it will be much better than this one. So just hit pause and go to the next episode here.
I don't agree. I think you're awesome. I love this book, and I think that it's really important for people's health to get in and get dirty, and that's what you say. You say that you're dismantling the status quo.
True.
And that's about your life, your health, right? I mean, if you're just sitting all day, sitting's the new smoking. If you're just sitting on your butt all day, that's the status quo.
Yeah.
So get off your butt, find out what your what is.
Buy a recliner. So
Get off your butt and find your what.
Yay, I like that.
Get off your butt, find your what, stop the smoking, and actually discover what's inside.
Nice, man.
And that's really,
beautiful.
and I think that is great for your health and your wellness, and the first step that anyone should really take if they really do want to help themselves.
Agreed. And let love rule.
Yeah, and let love rule. Steve, man, thank you for being here. Thank you for writing this. It's a life changer. Everyone go out there and get your free copy on
whatisyourwhat.com/free.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Thanks
you,
for
sir.
being here, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
And everybody, we'll see you next week for another amazing episode. Not just a good one, a great one, because we had you here, of the Dr. Stevens Show. We'll see you next week, everybody.
It's It's the site where understanding investing starts to click. Click on wealthed.com, educating you about financial planning and answering your most important questions with live interactive shows hosted by experienced financial strategists and an on-demand library of videos and articles you can access anytime for free. Wealthed.com brings you retirement planning guidance, social security strategies, tax management techniques, portfolio allocation options, and more. Your source for information and financial education. Online, on demand, on wealthed.com.